Welcome to How It All Started podcast in North Iowa. My name is Erick Nganyange. My special guest today is the owner of The Roots, Jenn Pope. Jenn, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. You and I were talking about when we were coming in about is it protein scanner?
So it's a body composition scan.
Ooh,
Yeah.
like it. Is that's the same process was done with the blood work and all? Does that replace no?
Nope.
Okay.
So it's different than blood work. So this will be a scan that uses bioelectrical impedance.
Okay.
So it sends a stream through your body and it tells you about your composition. So it'll give you your weight, but then it tells you of your weight, how much in pounds is muscle, bone, body fat, water, all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be in addition to blood work to give you an overall picture of your health.
That can be very helpful because sometimes people are overweight. It could be bones and all that.
Absolutely.
So that can kind of give them the ideas like, hey, your problem is not your bones.
Right.
Your problem is the fat. So, interesting. Talk about fasting.
Okay. Fasting. I love to talk about fasting.
Okay. I fast
Okay.
3 times a week
Okay.
and it's strictly water fast. So like today, I don't eat anything until tomorrow.
Okay.
I just drink water.
It's like a 24-hour fast.
Yeah. And sometimes I push. I mean, I count the sleeping because after I ate like yesterday, maybe like 5, nothing else. I don't eat nothing else this morning until tomorrow. Talk to me. Is fasting a good thing?
There are a lot of metabolic benefits to fasting.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a ton of different approaches. So technically you could say eating for less than 12 hours is fasting, right?
Okay.
You can say 24 hours is fasting. Some people fast for 3 days at a time. Fasting, when it originated, was more for like spiritual or religious reasons. And now we've used it as a tool to kind of give your body a metabolic reset. For people who have no idea what fasting is, it's basically not eating for a certain period of time, right? If you think of the term breakfast, it technically means break fast. So it's when you break your fast.
I found out about that like a month ago. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I know. And everyone's like, oh, it has to be from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., pancakes, waffles, eggs, bacon, all that. But it doesn't have to be that way. So fasting, what it does is when you shorten your eating time frame, you always want, you always want to eat for less hours than you're not eating. So that's why I always try to encourage people to eat for 12 hours or less. Because you don't want your body to have to constantly break things down and maintain and store and process that. When you shorten your eating time frame and allow your body to rest and repair, then you have more metabolic benefits. So you can lose weight and you can manage your blood sugar better and you can regulate your appetite. You sleep better. That's one of the biggest things people say about fasting and feel.
Where did we get the lie? Eating 3 meals a day, snack, because that's completely go against the fasting.
Yeah.
Or was that just the industry
I think it was
selling us food?
Yeah, I think it was part of industry. And I think a lot of it came from like food insecurity for a while. Like we thought, we weren't going to, school, right? Think about school.
Yeah.
Preschool, daycare, all of it. It's 3 meals for these kids. They get these snacks. Like there's always food, constantly food. It's crazy. But I think now when I talk about fasting, I hesitate quite a bit because I want it to be something that's sustainable for people. Yeah. And so when you have busy parents that have kids who play basketball until 8:00, but they worked out at 5 a.m. and they have blood sugar issues, so not everyone can do it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I try not to say everyone should fast. It's the best thing ever. It's a great tool. I want people to remember it's a tool. It's not for everyone.
Why you think most of us are struggling on fasting other than no self-control?
Yeah, I think it's everyone's schedules. Schedules are just chaotic, right? There's no time for you. And I think it's because of how fast-paced everything is. So it's like we're on to the next. So if we don't eat at noon, well, we don't get a chance to breathe until 5. And by 5, I'm starving, right? So then I have to like go, and I eat a whole lot and I have no control. That's when the self-control comes in. So I don't actually feel like self-control is the root cause of the problem. I think it's just an accessory piece of it. It's like the schedule or the availability, or we were gone all weekend and so we didn't have anything to set out that would be fueling for us, and then we miss the opportunity. So if you don't eat at noon, you don't get the chance to eat later. And so that's teachers. They're the hardest population I have to serve.
Oh, really?
So hard because it is go, go, go.
Yeah.
Like even getting them to drink water because they truly don't have time to go to the bathroom. So they don't drink water, most of them, not everyone. And it's just this system, it's not.
Because you're right, because it's like from the time they get in and by the time they get out, it's like 3 p.m.
Yes.
I did not even think about that one.
Or they'll be the population that they have to be to school by 7:15. And so they'll get up at 6:15 and eat breakfast, but then their kids are playing games and they don't get home until 9 o'clock at night. So they're eating for more than 12 hours because of the schedule. So I find like this fast-paced life, this is like...
It's not good.
Yeah, it's the piece that's really... It dictates all of our choices.
So we basically need to slow down.
For sure.
A little bit. Did you see a lot of, because we slowed down a lot during COVID. Did you see a lot of change in some of your?
Yeah, a little bit, but then people stayed home more. They drank a lot more. So they created.
Probably eat more. Because you don't have anything going on.
They learned to bake bread and make homemade ice cream and all that stuff. But what I do think COVID brought for people is that it brought more awareness to our health and how we want to feel. And it also brought more happiness to the kitchen. So I think people are cooking a little bit more than they used to. They're making things from scratch a little bit more. So, but we had to slow down. So all those distractions weren't there. And then it's right back to, quote, normal now, right? Yeah. And so now we don't cook anymore.
The fast pace of life, and even when you think about it, we have more drive-through food places in America than anywhere else in the world.
Yes.
Because it's just that fast pace. It's like, hey, I want to get over here, order right here, get my food here, out.
Yep.
And I'm not even going to wait until where I'm getting. I'm eating while I'm driving.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No time. And if I always tell people to time themselves when they eat, just sit down, set your phone timer, and just eat like you normally would.
Yeah.
And most people eat in like 10 minutes, which is crazy. And
that's bad. That's not good.
You want to eat for at least 20, but no longer than 30.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that's for good blood sugar control, which affects everything.
I'm probably the 10 minutes or under. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And everyone like wants to slow down and everyone wants to change that, right? People are going to hear this and be like, oh, I want to do that, but it's not that easy.
Yeah.
And so what I try to do with people is say, okay, here's where you are. Here's where you want to be. What's the middle ground? Okay. We know on late game nights that, you're probably going to have that popcorn. Can you push your breakfast back just those mornings? Can you shift your schedule? So I try to find like the in-betweens to help people meet those goals realistically. So, okay, you hear this and you want to start doing 3 24-hour fasts. Well, that's probably, and then I talk to them, what's your schedule like? It's not going to fit. Can we do less than 12 hours every day? Can we start there? So if people just take where they want to be and scale it down for their life, then we're successful. Okay,
so like kind of individualize your own plan.
Absolutely.
There's no like one plan fits everybody.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
I did not know anything about that time, how long you eat.
Yeah.
And maybe it could be because we kind of went away from everybody sitting on the table, eat together.
Right.
Yeah, I need to change that.
See, and that's the other piece, right? If you have kids, like, okay, get the kids fed because we have to go here and do this and this and this. And then the parents don't eat until 8 o'clock at night. And
Yeah. Okay. So anywhere from 10 to 20, but not over 30.
Yeah.
So kind of take your time, chew your food.
Yes.
Sometimes I feel like,
scarf it.
geez, did I chew anything?
Right? Did I taste it? Yes. I always tell people to take one of those Dove chocolates. You know what I'm talking about? Those little squares.
Yeah. Yep.
And take 4 bites out of it. Instead of just taking, you unwrap it, toss it in your mouth.
Gosh.
Take 4 bites out of it. Take the one bite and chew it. Think about it. Take the other bite. You're still eating the same thing.
Yeah.
But you can eat 5 or 6 of them if you just throw the whole thing in your mouth. But if you take 4 bites of it, or even 2 bites of it, 3 bites of it, you're going to eat 3, maybe 4.
That's interesting because I had one of those on the Valentine's Day. There was like, and I remember I just took like 3 of them and just throw the first one.
Right? And you're probably at your computer while you're doing it.
Yep, I was not even thinking.
And there's music going on and someone's running around here, all these distractions. And so you ate it because you knew you wanted it, but you didn't actually enjoy it.
Yeah. So what's the advantage of basically we're going back to slow down. Not just slow down your life, slow down on the food.
Yes.
What is the advantage of slowing down when you're eating? Like,
yeah, I loved it. This is so great to talk about. So I'm going to kind of go around the block here for a little bit. Yeah, you know the Ozempic, like the injectables.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. So what those medications are called is they're GLP-1 inhibitors. And so in every human body, at the bottom of our stomachs, top of our small intestine, we have these GLP-1 receptors. So they're receptors that signal to your brain when you're full. So if I slow down and take my time and give my body the time it needs to take my food, chew it, swallow it, and then start to break it down, in about 20 minutes, my food hits those receptors, signals to my brain that I'm full. So what are these medications doing? They're called GLP-1 inhibitors. So they are just permanently blocking those receptors. So they're signaling to people's brains all the time, I'm full. I'm full. Yeah. That's why you hear about people not wanting to eat when they take those medications. So our bodies naturally do that, but not in 5 minutes with a McChicken and fries on your way to a basketball game and a large Coke. Because then by the time it's even hit, you're already at the concession stand getting a bag of popcorn because it smells good when you walk in.
Interesting.
So metabolically, and in my world of kind of weight in general, right? So it's not all my patients are weight loss patients, but most of them just want to feel better. And that comes with it, is that if you allow your body the time to digest and absorb the things in its own time, then you will tune into those hunger cues. You will be more satisfied. You will feel full. You'll absorb the nutrients.
Wow. This is just common sense. It's not even science to me.
It's back to the basics.
Yeah.
It is basics.
Because if you eat way fast, by the time those, whatever the name is, they communicate to your brain, your stomach is already like this full. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Or like large portion size, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we just go and go and go and go and go. And then all of a sudden, then it hits. Have you had that feeling before where you just go and eat a big plate of food and it hits you and you're like, I'm sick to my stomach.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
That was last week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And
Too
it's
fast.
like, oh, man. That makes a lot of sense now because I'm just thinking about myself. It makes a lot of sense. It's like sometimes you eat something good. It's like, wow,
Yes.
I ate all that food. I'm feeling good. And then in 20 minutes, it's like, ooh.
Yep.
I overate.
Yep. And then you can't do anything about it. But I think that comes from the fast-paced lifestyle we have, plus I'm never gonna get to have this again sort of feeling. We kind of convince ourselves of that. Like, I shouldn't have this huge plate of pasta. So because I'm having it, I'm just gonna have it, right? But take that plate and break it down into 3 meals, and it's the same food.
Yeah.
But it's broken down to smaller.
My biggest fight right now, because I'm fasting a lot, I lie to myself like, well, I need to eat this because I'm going to be fasting tomorrow anyways.
Right.
That's my biggest fight and my biggest struggle right now, instead of being like, hey, well, you might as well just don't fast.
Yep. Right. Yes, that's the example I like to use of, I would rather somebody eat 2 Oreos every single day for the rest of their life instead of never eat, never eat, never eat. And on a Saturday, they get a package and eat the whole thing.
With milk.
With milk.
Trust
After
me,
supper.
I've done that before. It's like Oreo, double Oreo cookie is not.
Yeah.
It should not be around my house anywhere because that can be a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that about slowing eating. That's one thing I'm going to need to start doing.
Yeah. A good tip is putting your fork down in between every bite.
I heard that before.
Yeah. Just like think about, so time yourself one time and then be aware of how often you put your fork down. And some meals I'm like, my hand hurts because I'm holding my fork for so long, So I think just being aware of those things is, and it sounds easy, but then you throw yourself into the environment and someone's yelling and we're letting the dog out and all these things that pull us away. So the easiest thing is just to eat your meal quick and then go do what you need to do.
Yep. And that's I think that's another problem because I always thinking like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. So I will do this after I eat. So in consciously, I'm thinking, oh, I need to finish eat, go get this thing done. I realized that I think last year when we go out to eat with friends, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, these people are slow eater. I'm like, I'm done. Not good.
Right. Or you're just a fast eater, right?
Yeah. It's not a good trait to have.
Right.
Yeah, that's on my to-do list, definitely. Roots. What's that name coming from?
So it has a threefold meaning to me. So roots so I grew up in Mason City, Rock Falls technically, but I grew up around here. So opening a business in the place where I grew up, these are my roots, keeping my roots here.
I like that.
Roots as in staying rooted in evidence-based research. So not just throwing things out because I think they sound good or I heard this before, like staying rooted in that good research.
Yeah.
And then roots as in like fruits and vegetables, things that grow with roots, being like a core part of my practice. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. When did the idea of health eating hit you? Like, because I always say it's almost like a process. There's that something hit you like, man, this is what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
And then you sit with that idea and then you be like, now is the time.
Right.
I got to jump right now. Walk me through that process. Like, when did that hit you? Hey, this is my passion. This is what I want to do.
Surprisingly, it hit me really early on. So I was a sophomore in high school.
Oh,
when
really?
I knew I wanted to be a dietitian. Yeah, which is crazy because I think every friend I had that went to college changed their major like 2 or 3 times, right? Like,
wow.
But I was an athlete, and so I started to realize how food affected my performance in my body. And like, oh, if I pack my lunch and it has more protein and some vegetables, I feel better, I act better, I perform better. So I started to just play around with it then. It wasn't real deep into anything, but I knew I was like, okay, I'm going to go be a dietitian and whatever. So then I went to Iowa State, and college is hard because it's the schedule. And so I still understood the purpose, but I don't think I dove into it until I did my graduate program in Springfield, Missouri. So I did a combined internship master's program. Our emphasis was nutrition diagnostics. So we were helping treat the root cause of things through nutrition. And that whole time, as we're seeing patients in the internship and all of these clinical cases, it's like it all came back to food. It's like, do you have diabetes because that was your genetics, or were you predisposed and you ate this way for your whole life? And then, we can treat it through food. So food has always been important to me when I think about how people feel and how I felt, but I didn't realize how much it could cure or help things until grad school.
And it looks like now, as a society, we start finding out, like, the problem is now, the back end of the disease and all that stuff. Yeah, that's the problem. But actually, the cure is in the front end.
Right.
It's like, what do we put in our body?
Yeah. And it's so frustrating right now because our healthcare industry is opposite. Your insurance will pay for something if you're diagnosed with this disease, but they're not on the preventative side.
No.
And so that's a mixed message for people. That's a really hard thing for providers, like your doctor, your family doctor. I mean, they probably want to run all these tests or they want to have these conversations, but they know that insurance might not cover it. And then that leaves you with the bill. So, and we could go down a rabbit hole with that, but that's
we're going to go there.
That's what makes it so difficult right now is that we're pushing people to be proactive, but what you pay for in our health industry is not that way.
Yeah, and I think because it's the money driven.
Totally.
Yeah, it's the money driven. There's no money in prevention of disease. It's contradict with the pharmaceutical. They don't want that.
Right.
I mean, even the hospital itself, because they don't get paid for preventive.
Right.
They get paid for treatment.
And they would get paid if insurance covered it. And if insurance covered it, Big Pharma would have something to say.
Yeah. It's almost like we need to uproot that system and kind of make it a little bit different. Yeah.
And I try to tell people that, so we all can agree on that, right? Everything we just said, everyone's like, yes, that's true. That needs to change.
Yep.
Do we have the power right now to do that? Probably not. But I tell people, take your health into your own hands. That's what you can do right now. That's what you can do. You can control you. So you do what you can within your resources to stop that from happening in your household.
Oh yeah, and I think actually we do have a big control, because if we all started with you and going that way, then the visit to the hospital is going to be
right
very low.
Yes,
and they're going to need to adjust how they get paid. Otherwise, they're going to go bankrupt.
Right.
So then they can be like, okay, we can't get nobody to get in. What do we need to do? Oh, maybe we need to do a preventative.
And I worked at the hospital here for 3.5 years before I opened my own business. And the providers want that.
Oh, yeah.
They want that. It's when you get big, when you get to the big corporate level where it's like their hands are tied.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like, we are really lucky to have awesome providers around here and a good administration that tries to fight for us. And at some point your hands just get tied because of that whole.
From high school, you start thinking about food is very important. It's a big deal. It affect us, everything, health-wise, our mood sometimes. Now you get to college, you're going through, okay, this is what I want to do. You start working for the hospital. Then when did you sit there and say, like, I need to do this my way?
I have a very vivid memory in my head of when I decided.
Oh, yeah. I know most people usually do.
Yes. Yeah. I am sitting in my office with a patient. She was in her middle 65, something like that. And I'm writing down instructions on how to just pan sear a chicken breast. Like, just a simple chicken breast. Like, she wasn't sure what type of pan, what heat, what seasonings. Do I season it? Do I have to wash my chicken? Do I have to cut it? What do I do? Where do I get it? So we're bare basic writing down. Someone who's lived the majority of their life, right? And we're sitting there, raised a family, all of this stuff. And I'm sitting there writing this down for her. And I'm thinking, there is a better way to do this. There is a better way to do this, because you can educate, but then you have to be able to apply. And she wanted to. She wanted to apply. She wanted to be able to go home and make a chicken breast in 15 minutes. And I'm sitting there trying to write this down on the back of a handout I created. And I'm like, there's a better way to do this. And that's when Roots was born in my head, because I not only can do the educational component, but we can do the application-based piece of learning.
And that's what you do there at Roots.
Yes. So I do the nutrition counseling, the nutrition education. That's like my bread and butter.
Yeah.
The fun stuff and the application-based piece is our grab-and-go cooler. We do cooking demos, so meal planning. I do like some reset groups every now and then. Like, I just little things to help people learn how to apply what we know is good for us.
Yeah, because we have the information.
Absolutely.
We have too much information.
Absolutely.
But application that's where it gets a little bit tricky.
Yes. And people see where they are and where they want to be, and they can't see what's just a step further. They need someone to bring that, like, how do I make this reality?
Man, I feel like you should be like hosting town hall, like demonstration, right? I think that would be kind of beneficial for the community. Yeah. It's like,
because I try not to overcomplicate it. Nobody needs me to tell them not to drink pop.
Yeah.
Nobody needs me to tell them to drink more water. Like, I never tell people. I don't say no or never to anything. Never. Because you don't need me to tell you how to do that. But what you do need is someone to advocate for you, help break down your day, say, can you chug a 16-ounce glass of water when you wake up in the morning, and put that glass by your toothbrush, because you never forget to brush your teeth. So you'll create a new habit like that. And then, okay, you go through and get a 32-ounce Diet Coke every day. Can you start buying bottles? Okay, and you have one a day. I don't like bottles as much. Well, could you do that? If you're motivated to change that, can you start going a size down? So it's the small things. It's just breaking it down.
Yeah. So the 16-ounce water in the morning, that's very important, because you've been dehydrated all night or hydrated all night.
Yeah. The number's not as important as it is to just get some water in.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
People who want to start drinking more water, the number one way I tell them to do that is get up in the morning, grab a glass of water, and chug it. 16 ounces right off the bat. I'll chug half of this, right? But it's a habit for me. And I'm thirsty in the mornings. I'm not thirsty all day. You can't listen to your body on that. You have to get up and drink some water. So it doesn't have to be only 16 ounces, but I tell people you're waking up
Just
dehydrated. Something. And then when that feels easy and that's routine, then we look at another part of your day of where we can squeeze another glass in.
Mm-hmm. What's the difference between nutritionist and dietitian?
Big thing is education. To be a registered dietitian, so I'm licensed with the state. I had to sit for my boards and take a test. So I had to do 4 years of an undergrad program. And then as a dietitian, you have to get a master's degree. They didn't require that in the beginning, but you have to do a combined master's internship program. So it's basically 6 years of schooling.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It can vary a little bit depending on what type of internship and where you're at, but it's education. It's like anyone could really claim to be a nutritionist. And I don't actually shame a lot of them. I mean, I think there's people out there who just talk and say whatever they want, but that's any career. Yeah,
but when, like you say, you got to take your health into your own hands. You got to be very careful where you get your information from.
Yes.
Because it can just take you to the wrong path.
Yep. And I always come back to the fact that I can explain to you the why. I can tell you why. So if someone's saying to you, cold water's better for you, why? And if they can't explain that,
run.
Run. No, you should be able to explain the why, right? I'll tell people eat more protein. Why? Okay, let me tell you. Let me give you a few reasons why, right? And this is why I think it's important for you then as well. So I can tell you in general, and that's kind of probably the educational background, but then to be able to apply to why it's important for them is the key too. So basically the breakdown is that we just have more education.
Okay.
And more evidence-based education, research, and
we got the roots.
Exactly, the good roots.
I know you have nutrition counseling, meal planning, and then you have whole food in action. Talk to me about that.
That would be the big application-based piece of our cooking demos and classes. So twice a month, I hold cooking demonstrations, which is an hour-long class open to the public. I choose a random topic that I think is kind of hot right now or something I want people to know. For example, the one this month, so January, February, March, we've been doing this protein series. So I'm trying to help people cook protein easily. So the one we have coming up is pulled pork. So I make a basic pork recipe, and then I show people how they can use it in 10 different ways. So the whole food in action is really where here's what I'm educating you on. Now, how do I apply it? And that's where the demos come in. So there's 14 people in a class. They're an hour long. So they're real simple. All recipes I've created.
And it does not get no better than that.
Right.
Once you simply, it's like the moment I'm start reading the recipe in a page and a half.
Yes.
I'm already tired. I'm like, well, I'm going to go to drive-through, man. I'm not going to go through this.
Right.
So it's like then you start looking in your cupboard in your house. It's like, I don't even have all this equipment.
Right. And what I think is cool about our classes is that I'm not a chef. I took some culinary classes as a part of my curriculum, but I'm not a chef. So I'm saying I use this because this is what makes sense in my kitchen. And so a part of it that I've really tried to tap into recently is empowering people to use what they are comfortable with.
And what they already have in their kitchen.
What they already have. I have people be like, well, I don't like cilantro, so I can't make this recipe. Leave it out. And some people just need that permission.
That's true.
They just need the permission.
True. Yeah.
And so my recipes are usually just a backbone. Like here is just how to basically make a pan-seared pork chop. Here are snap peas that we're going to saute, and you could try this, and this, and this, and this too.
Yeah.
So I try to keep it. I used to just get in my head about that as a business owner. Like, who is going to come to this class so I can teach them how to make a chicken breast? A lot of people, because it's just overwhelming.
I'm going to ask you this question. Don't disappoint. What is your thought about air fryer?
I love the air fryer.
Okay. We're good then.
I love it.
We're good then. I was like hoping you're not going to say nope.
No, I love
grill
the air fryer.
Everything.
No, the crock pot is probably one of my favorite cooking, like the utensil, or I guess whatever you want to call it.
I see the trend here.
Appliance.
Yeah, I see the trend here. Crock pot doesn't work in our society anymore.
Because it's slow.
Yeah. Microwave, it's everything we need.
You bet. Air fryer, you can cook a whole chicken breast. And
Yep.
Instant Pot, right? People always say, how do I make this in the Instant Pot? I don't know anything about the Instant Pots because I like the process of cooking. So it's nothing to me to stand in front of a grill and grill a steak for 20 minutes. However, that's not the majority of people anymore.
Yeah.
It's all about the plan though, right? So if you knew that was your plan. So at Roots, we carry freezer dump crock pot meals. So it's a frozen meal that you dump into your crock pot, like frozen solid, walk away, and you come home and supper's made. But you've got to have the plan for it, right?
Yeah.
You had to have come to our store, purchased it, and said, okay, I'm making this on Monday. And that's the piece that goes missing.
Yeah, the planning. And I think, and I could be completely wrong, I think lack of planning is the struggle we have with weights.
I would agree.
Yeah, because it's like now, well, we didn't plan anything and we just got back from the game. We don't have anything at home to eat. Let's pull up a Burger King quick.
Yep. Or you go home and you make Easy Mac or frozen pizza.
Yeah.
Or something that's typically a convenience food that's higher in carbs and not as quality protein and no veggies for sure.
And this is another myth. Please shoot this down because I grew up eat leftovers all my life. Some people say leftovers not good for you. My problem is I can eat leftover next 5 days.
You could eat the same thing.
Yeah. How long should you get on your leftovers? What's the maximum you will say? Like you say, not more than 30 minutes. What is the maximum days of leftovers? Like, hey, now you probably start eating mold.
Oh boy, I hate to speak out of context on this. I would say a week. I mean, and
7 days max.
Yeah,
I like that.
I would think so.
Because they think I'm crazy on 5 days. I still got 2 more days to stretch. Great.
Right. Don't quote me on that. Someone's going to open something up 5 days old and full of mold and still eat it.
Okay, yeah. Because I was like, maybe she might be right about this one. But because if it's something I like, I would just keep eating it.
Yeah. And people vary on that. So some people can be more, I find people who can eat the same thing can be a little bit more successful and consistent. People who, like, I can't eat the same thing every day. If I meal prep tacos, I could have it once or twice and I've got to be done.
Yeah. I know a lot of people, it's like once they eat one time.
Yes.
My daughter's the same way. She eat once, she's done.
Right.
So I always jump on our leftovers. Like, I know you're not going to eat this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then that's the thing with the cooking demos. So they'll say, well, this is for, a 3-pound roast. It's just me and my husband or whoever. We're not going to eat this all. So then I'm like, well, can you freeze it? Oh, but that seems so simple. Yeah. But people need to be like, oh, can you freeze it? I do. Like,
and when you were talking about lack of planning, because you can easily plan 2-3 meals and cook it at once and freeze it.
Totally.
That can save you 3 weeks there.
Yes.
And if you're fasting in between,
there you go.
That can save you a lot of time of preparation. Then you don't need to worry about it. Food addiction. I feel like that's our other biggest problem. Is there a way to kind of look whatever you're buying, see what is ingredients is in our food? Because I think there's certain things that are probably more addictive than the other.
Absolutely.
Is there a way to look and you say like, hey, when you flip that package, if there's these ingredients, don't touch it. Oh, it's almost like Wild Wild West is impossible because it's everything in there.
It's not impossible if you're committed to it. So I tell people, because they're like, oh, I'm going to spend 4 hours in the store. Go look at the ingredients and the things you eat every single day. Yeah. Every day. If you only use ketchup once a week, who cares?
Yeah.
Don't borrow that problem, right?
Okay.
But if you're putting ranch dressing on something, multiple times a day. So you'll hear the rule about if you can't pronounce it, stay away from it. That rule to me is important, but it's not really a food addiction thing. The things that are actually addictive are the sugars. Not that taking a spoonful of sugar necessarily, but it's the type of sugar. So like the high fructose corn syrup we hear a lot about.
Yeah.
A lot of hydrogenated oils things like that. And a lot of the artificial flavorings. Artificial flavorings. Natural flavorings can also be addictive, but anything that's got artificial flavorings, someone is sitting in a lab creating that flavor to be addictive.
Jeez.
It's like, why can't you buy the generic Doritos and they taste the same? Because Doritos, they've patented their artificial and natural flavors. That's theirs, right? It's a secret sauce. It's a secret seasoning. You can't find a knockoff Dorito that tastes exactly the same.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing.
That's the thing. And then you're addicted to that. Takis, I think that's all the kids rave, right? They love those. You can't find anything that's the same because they create these things to just spike your palate.
That, Mm-hmm. And boy, you just sit there and wonders like, how does this thing even pass the smell test?
Yeah.
With the FDA. It's like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then for kids, it's not only how can we make it taste really good, but how can we make it look really good? And then it's at their eye level in the store, and it's all of these things. Well, my friends get all this, and I get, it's social. Kids are just set up for it. And then if you can't stay consistent when they're kids, those habits trail when you're adults.
Jeez. Yeah. I mean, you get them addicted young.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a train wreck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like addicted young, get sick. We got something for you here. And you get too big. Don't worry. We got Ozempic.
Right.
It's like,
Yes. And, you could think about it this way too. Is like, okay, someone's going to hear this and be like, okay, I don't want my kids to have anything artificial. Is that realistic? So where are you? Where do you want to be? What's realistic? Can we say, okay, no artificial flavorings or dyes Monday through Friday, but when you do cereal on the weekends, you get to have Lucky Charms? Like, so it's making those compromises and like
slow it down.
That. Yes.
Yeah, slow it down.
Yes.
It's like that's kind of the thing on this episode today. Just slow it down a little bit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. What is your thought? I got a few friends. Sorry, Candy. What is your thought about vegan?
I think it can be done correctly.
Yeah.
And I support people in that approach. If someone comes to me and say they're vegan, I'm going to help them find the most balance in their diet.
Yeah.
And honoring that. I am not ever probably going to recommend that, not because I don't recommend it, but simply because it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
So if someone comes to me with that approach, I'll support it completely. And there's a lot of good products these days. So helping people, because when you're vegan or vegetarian, the risk, quote, risk, is that you don't get as much protein.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's still plenty of ways to do that when you're vegetarian and vegan. Yeah. It's hoping and helping those people be more knowledgeable in that.
Yeah. When did the Roots open? You got a great location, by the way.
I love our location.
That's perfect location there.
Yeah.
That's the old Bear Sugar, was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Old Bear Sugar,
okay, yeah.
And I didn't realize how much I love that location until we've been in there for over 3 years now.
Yeah, because it's like you drive there, you can't miss it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So it was January of 2022 is when I started the renovations inside. And then I kind of opened for business probably in March and then started seeing patients full bore in May. So.
Oh, wow. Right there, because that was still in the heart of COVID.
That was. Yes, it was. Yeah. And I had some momentum with me, because I had seen quite a few patients before. And so I think people were wondering, when are you going to start seeing people again? And so that was a hard process on myself of just getting it going. And one thing is I do take insurance for my visits.
That's a good thing right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And most insurance companies are really good about covering. There's some there's some hiccups with. So we take it on a case by case basis, but that took a while to get credentialed with those companies. And so I really couldn't get my feet going the way I wanted to until I got credentialed with them.
How much the business changed from 2022? Because I feel like we are more aware, and I think the diseases have a lot to do with that. Mm-hmm. We are more aware now about, we are conscious the stuff we eat. It's like, it's amazing how many people that I run across there, they will talk about food like, I don't think that's good stuff. And it's like, that conversation never happened. And I think I read the stats and I was like, I was the number 2 in the country for cancer. So, and I don't know how much is the business changed in the last 2 years?
I think a lot of the language with my patients has been people want to feel better. It used to be, I want to lose weight. I want to lose 20 pounds for my son's wedding. I want to do this. But the language in the past year, 2 years has been, I want to feel better. And people are more willing to try to do that. And so the food component of it has just
big deal.
Oh,
yeah.
Big. I always say about the business, and this is such a blessing, we are our biggest limiting factor. We do as much as we can, and then that kind of cuts it off. There's so much opportunity out there. There really is. And just staffing and just being busy in multiple different areas is the biggest limiting factor for us.
Yeah. How many staff you got? Or is it just yourself still?
No. Oh. I could never do it without anyone. I have one full-time person who's been with me from the beginning. And then I have a good solid group of about 2 part-timers. So we've had some transition recently, like someone's having a baby and moving and all sorts of different things. So I'm lucky enough to be able to piece people together for things. But I have 2 girls there consistently. Okay.
And do you have a kitchen there, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So there's cooking going on, the counseling going on. If people want to get in touch with you beside the website is great, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Just go on the website. And
if people have Facebook, that's the best way to see what we have going on. We post every day about what's in our kitchen, what's fresh, what do we have. I'll do live videos. We advertise for our cooking demos that way.
Yeah.
So social media is kind of our best platform. But I always encourage people, if you have a question on something or you just want knowledge, come in and see us or call. Like that is the best way to get the full picture on everything.
So what's the counseling look like? I mean, you don't need to let people know about everything.
Right.
What people, when I'm saying, okay, I'm going to see Jenn on this nutrition counseling, what people will get out of that?
So the initial session is an hour long, schedule 60 minutes. Yep. And basically what you can expect is that we're going to get together and I'm going to hear from you first.
Yeah.
So I want to hear a weight history, a diet history, what are some of your health goals? If it's appropriate to do the in-body scan, that's included in that composition scan. And then from there, as we're talking, I'm critically thinking through what I know and where you want to be. How can we make this happen? So then we spend, 20 minutes educating and going over handouts and writing down ideas and all these things. I want people to leave my office with more ideas of things they should have than ever hear what they shouldn't have. They already came in with that idea. They already came in thinking, I'm not going to be able to have McDonald's ever again.
Whenever you're thinking about nutritionist, go see nutritionist. It's like, and I'm sorry about this, Jenn. It's like you're thinking about going see a dentist. It's like, I know I'm not going to go there. It's like, yeah. You want a fries?
Right.
You want a shake?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be restriction of the stuff that you're already eating and you're already enjoying.
Mm-hmm. But I, all the time, am telling people what I think they should have more. That's probably 90%. I mean, there's the rare case of like, okay, let's back off on this. But if my message is, this is what you need more of, so we push that, then people start to naturally cut back on those other things.
And I think you mentioned it a couple of times in our conversation. It's just balance.
Balance. It's my favorite word.
Don't just eat that thing is addictive and is not good for you 7 days a week.
Right.
So my other biggest problem was I would swing by at the coffee shop, either Jitters or 3 on a Tree, and not for just a cup of coffee, I would get vanilla chai, which is a little bit sugary, and I think 3 on a Tree is always hot matcha. And I was doing that almost like daily. And then when 3 on a Tree opened up on Sunday was another biggest problem. So I would do that like 7 days a week. And then when I stopped fasting, I was like, maybe I need to slow this down a little bit. Is there a danger on that, even though I just have that 1 cup, 16 ounce, and then I don't eat anything else, just drinking water and until I eat supper?
So with that,
yeah,
it's the first thing you're having, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all sugar.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And so it's not about, if you were to eat a piece of quiche before you drank your drink, I'm okay with it.
Oh, so that sugar is just going to go hit.
Yes, the sugar's a rush. So I think coffee, I mean, I love to frequent those businesses as well, right?
Yeah.
And I like a little caramel latte or things like that, but I automatically ask if they can make it half sweet. So make it, if they're putting 4 pumps of vanilla, can you do 2?
Okay.
And then I'm making sure that I'm not going to start my day with only that. If I'm going to indulge in a treat like that, which is great, then I'm going to make sure I have some protein before. Because then protein digests a lot slower than carbs. So when I'm saying sugar in those drinks, I'm talking about carbs basically. And so if I spike my blood sugar really quick and it comes down, that's the only thing I had. I ride that spike all day long. Up, down, up, down, up, down, right?
Let me ask you this then.
Okay.
Because now you say that, this makes sense. Is that why sometimes I'm start getting tired?
Yep, because you come
in the
crashing
midday?
down. Yep.
Because I drink that and I come to work, I have a lot of energy. Boom, 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 boom. And by the time it hit like 3 or 2, because I haven't ate nothing. That's all I drank and drinking water. It's like I'm falling asleep on my desk.
Yes. And then follow me on this, right? So people come crashing down.
Yeah.
And then what does your body, when you're going down, your body craves energy. And the easiest thing for energy for your body is carbs.
Yep.
And when I say carbs, people aren't craving an apple mid-afternoon. They're craving a Snickers.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
They're craving something sweet. People say, oh gosh, I don't know, 2:00 every day, I just got to have chocolate. I have to have a handful of Dove dark chocolates or whatever it is. And so that's where the addiction comes in. Because then it's not that eating a chocolate is a bad thing for you or being hungry in the afternoon. It's the fact that then we're crashing in energy, our body's craving carbs, and then it's the addictive carbs. And then we beat ourselves up over it. We're mad. We're upset.
Oh, yeah.
Why did we have that? Why did we let ourselves do that? We have no self-control. So then there goes the negative talk in our head. And then might as well go through McDonald's for supper.
Yep. I already screw up the whole day. And why worrying about it?
I blew it.
Oh, boy. I feel like a preacher's talking to me about hell.
Yeah.
So would you recommend not to do that right away in the morning? Because sometimes for me, that sometimes in the morning is socializing thing.
Totally. Yep.
So would you recommend to like push a little bit back to maybe 11? That's when you get that drink instead of right away in the morning.
Yep. It still can't be the only thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That's
so
the
you're
key.
better off having, so if you've got to have some protein before you have that sweet drink. Now, if someone's going and just getting a black cup of coffee, that doesn't matter as much because there's no sugar in it, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you drink that at 6 a.m. or 11, if it's the first thing you're having and the only thing you're having, it's still going to have the same effect. So you're better off having some protein before, whether you drink a protein shake or whether you do eggs in the morning or whatever it might be.
Okay.
Then you lay that protein layer.
Yeah.
And I think your point of socialization is a good thing. Because I have people all the time like, well, Friday night we do pizza nights and I know those have to stop. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
That's good for your family. That's good to do that stuff. And that's great you have friends over and that's awesome. You go to a coffee shop, you support small business, all these things, right? Those are good things. How can we make good things even better for you?
That's true.
How can you balance it out?
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, all my meetings at the coffee shop.
Yeah, and that's
it's
great.
like if I have 2 of those, I gotta meet people back to back, and now I went from 16 to 32. It's easy for me to eat 1 meal a day, but I think because that cup of sugar the day that I'm not fasting, that's what it does.
Counts as a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's all carbs. There's no protein to it. And there's protein in like if you had regular milk, right?
Yeah.
I mean, whole milk or something, there's some fat and some protein there, but not enough. So you're better off covering yourself with something else. Like, I mean, a meat and a cheese stick or anything like that. A yogurt parfait, anything.
Boy.
Anything with some protein.
Yeah, this is great information for me. What is the future of Jenn and what is the future of Roots look like? What do you envision? Not necessarily something is in work, but what do you envision like next 10 years?
I envision this like one-stop health shop. I would
like that.
love
I like that.
to add another dietitian to my practice. I would love that. And because I think we could serve more people in that way. I already have tried to hire. I mean, the feelers are out there. So it has to be the right person because it's a certain type of brand and there's a food component to it. So another dietitian for sure, a team of healthcare professionals, whether it's a PA or a nurse practitioner or even a primary provider who provides more of this holistic, balanced health service. But then the kitchen part of it, I only see that growing too. I want to get into like ready to go meals. Like if you think about HelloFresh or if you think about like the meals that you can just go grab and run away with, like in Des Moines and bigger cities, they do.
Are you doing that right now?
We do pieces of it.
Okay.
Pieces of it. So you can come into our case and get chicken salad, a yogurt parfait, homemade granola, box lunches, things like that. But I would love to do like a pre-order. So like you could pre-order your lunch meals through me.
Yeah.
And this is what the options are that week and they're ready for pickup. So I'd like to do a lot more of the convenient balance things and then to take that a step further, work with a lot of local producers.
Okay.
So keep it like local farmers and local.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a lot of good connections with that already. We try to do that with our cooking demos. So the one we're having this week, Mossy Cup Farms, we're using their pork. So Healthy Harvest of North Iowa, they help connect me to local producers. And so anytime I can use something local in a class, we do.
What can we as member of community do to support you, to push you through those boundaries? What type of stuff should we move out of your way?
Word of mouth is the best thing for my business.
Okay.
It is the best thing. Come in and try something and tell people about it. Come in and do a nutrition counseling appointment and tell people about it. Come use the InBody, come to a class and talk about it. Because that's where we've gotten most of our customers from. And in this small town area, I mean, I want people to know you don't have to be a patient of mine to come get chicken salad or to come to a cooking demo.
It's just like going to the store.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. It is. I mean, there's a lot of different options. And so however you decide to support Roots, and maybe that's just sharing something on Facebook. Maybe you've never been into the store before, but you're just putting comments and liking our stuff and sharing it with people. That's a way to support us too.
I'm sure people probably think like, okay, if I don't have an insurance, how much would that counseling will cost me? I don't want to just go in there and then she say $2,000.
Right.
And he's like, whoa, okay. What is the roughly for somebody who don't have an insurance?
Yeah. So for the initial 60-minute visit, it's $100.
Okay.
For follow-up visits,
crazy.
Yeah, follow-up visits, it's $50. They're 30 minutes long, and you're not locked into anything.
Yeah.
So it's not like you see me and I have to see you in a month. You can come one time, and be like, let me sit on this for a little bit. I mean, most people end up coming back, but you can use like your HSA, your
okay.
FSA
That was my
accounts.
next question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Good. Anything else you want to add? Anything you wanted the people of North Iowa to know beside all the things we touched on?
I think I want people to know specifically about the business is that I find it's just, and I think this is a lot of small business owners, but we do the things we do because we know they're right, not self-serving. We know they're right. And so,
True.
And we stand hard, maybe too hard sometimes, behind the brand of how we want things. You can trust me. You can trust when you come into Roots, I'm not sneaking anything in. You can trust I'm giving you the lowest price possible. You can trust that I am giving you my all in that 1 hour consult. And that's small business. And especially in this area, we're just full of good people around here, right?
That's very true.
Yeah.
Very true. What do you think the idea of you going in our school and revamp the lunch for our school system?
I would love it. And you know what? I actually think the school system would love it. They are tied. It's when you get big corporate though, right?
Yep.
They are bound by the government and they have regulations. One of the tightest restrictions in school lunch is salt, sodium. Very few people have to watch their salt intake, and especially kids. If you have high blood pressure, you've got to watch it, right? And don't be reckless, right? Don't throw a bunch of salt on your plate just because. But that's the number one thing that they're pressuring these school cafeteria, to look at. What about the protein to keep them full? What about the added sugars,
Well, yeah.
And like we've gotten away, people think, oh my gosh, nobody wants to cook anymore. The lunch ladies, they don't do their homemade rolls. They can't.
No, they can't. Yeah.
They can't anymore.
Their hands are tied.
The school system in a whole, for kids, for teachers, like I already kind of talked about, everything. It's frustrating. It's all time bound. Kids only have a certain amount of time. Okay, then you want to send a lunch. Okay, then their friend picks on them because they're eating celery with ranch. Like,
he's a mess.
Yeah. I think if you can help your kids understand the why behind a lot of things. Like when I meet with kids as patients, because I see kids too, I'll have the talk about like, can you do chocolate milk only on Fridays? Can you it's little things like that.
That's another one of those. I don't know who came up with that idea. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Talking about sugar. I like sugar, but boy, you taste that chocolate milk.
Yeah. I know. And who's going to choose white milk over chocolate milk?
Yeah, none of the kids will. I guarantee you can try that any day. You line up chocolate milk and the regular milk. That regular milk is going to sit there.
Yep.
Yeah, they are not going to touch that.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Well, man, thank you very much, man. This was great. Now I got some things to work on.
Got to process.
I got some things to work on, man. It's like, geez, now I got to think about what I'm start eating tomorrow.
Yep. I always say start with the small things.
Yeah.
Start with, because when I talk to people, I dump a ton of information out there. And then they're like, almost everyone says I'm a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I say, start with the one thing that when I said it, you thought I could do that right now. Start with that one thing. And if I see you in a month and you haven't even talked about the protein or the veggies or the whatever, we'll get to it.
Okay.
Start with the one thing that I said
you can do.
I can do that.
Yeah. Okay. So you just kind of start small and check that one.
Exactly.
Once you get that habit down, it's like, okay, I'm good here.
Yep.
Then go next. How important is that to do that as family, not just one person?
I think it's huge to do it as family and in a really healthy way, because kids, I cannot stress this enough, they will mimic their parents. If you don't eat veggies, your kids aren't going to eat veggies. If you talk poorly about your body or anyone's body, your kids are going to think those same things.
Absolutely.
And people know that, but you got to tune into it.
Yeah, it's just not hit in there. Yeah, it's like kids pick up on those things.
If you don't prioritize eating supper, your kids aren't going to do that. I think sitting down as a family, having options for foods, having conversation, why do we eat this? Not why don't we eat this? I mean, why do we have to have peanut butter with our apple? Well, we process it slower, gives you better energy, so just those conversations.
Yeah, and plan everything. When we are hungry, we are not thinking.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, I just want to eat right now, and I really don't care what it is.
Yep.
That was Jenn Pope, man, the owner of The Roots. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.